Charles Davis. CD, your thoughts on John Madden and what he meant to the sport he loves so much?
For me, Brandon, it's the word joy. He brought that to the game of football, brought the game to so many people. He stayed involved his entire life. And moving forward, when you think of football, you're always going to think John Madden.
One time for old times. What do you say we play some football as we are underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy game? And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. So it's the NFC stars who will get the ball first. And Charles, as we alluded to, we've got a different era of coach on each sideline. So the man coaching this NFC squad, we'll call him Young John Madden. This is a coach who was trying to establish a foothold in the NFL and on the cusp of doing it very successfully.
Yeah, you think back to that period, those early days as the coach of the Raiders, the late 60s in the AFL, and then in the NFL in the early 70s. Coach was a guy who was ahead of his time. The Raiders were one of the first teams to have mini camps, one of the first to film practice, because he wanted to practice coaching as much as he could. And his teams, they were successful right from the start of his head coaching tenure.
Favre's throw taken in by Moss. So as we mentioned at the top, let's take you through the life of John Madden. And you know, it's very fitting that we're here back in the Bay Area, not just because John's so associated with Raider football, but also because this was where he spent his formative years.
Yeah, he grew up over Daly City with his buddy John Robinson, who would also become an NFL head coach. He played his high school ball at Jefferson High, eventually wound up playing tackle at the University of Oregon, and later Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Played well enough that in 1958, he was a 21st round draft pick of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's right, the draft had 30 rounds then.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll go again with Sanders, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A couple of extra defensive backs in the ball game here on 3rd and 6. Favre. And he fires one, but incomplete.
I'm quite sure that they envisioned a much better start to this game when they practiced all week. But they failed on that 3rd down play. That brings up 4th down, and they'll probably have to punt it away.
They're going on 4th down. It's Favre. Trying for Sanders, but this is intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. And he is going to score. It's a pick 6 and an AFC touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal of how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. Vinatieri able to tack on the PAT, and it's now a 7-0 game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This fielded right at the goal line. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. You see the AFC defense heading back out there. After the pick 6, they go right back to the air. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. But Charles, you mentioned Coach was a 21st round draft pick back in 1958. It was the Philadelphia Eagles who selected him. But unfortunately for John, knee problems, they just continued to dog him. He was hurt in his first training camp, actually never saw the field as a player in the NFL. But it was still during his time with the Eagles, you and I were talking about this before going on air, that you could start to see the light bulb going on for what his career path might entail.
And it went on in a big way, didn't it? Because while he was rehabbing his knee, he started to spend a lot of time breaking down film with the Eagles, with quarterback Norm Van Brocklin, the future Hall of Famer and future head coach in the NFL. Remember, Norm Van Brocklin coached with the Falcons, he coached with the Vikings. and is there during that time. I think Coach Madden realized his love of football and love for teaching.
Tries for Rice, intercepted. Picked up by the Hall of Famer Junior Seau. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
And partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack, because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
So after the INT, it's Brady. Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's second down. Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll run it with the 85 MVP, Marcus Allen.
Charles, you know, it was in the early 1960s that a young John Madden made the acquaintance of the owner of the Oakland Raiders, one Al Davis, of course, and the two, they really bonded, would become one of the best owner-coach duos in NFL history. And to take it a step further, Al Davis became someone who John referred to as his best friend.
Yeah, 1967, Brandon. Al Davis hired Coach Madden to be a linebackers coach. Remember, this was still the AFL at that point. We had not merged totally with the NFL. And Coach Madden, he paid dividends almost immediately. Helped the Raiders win the AFL title in 1968. And that meant a date for the Green Bay Packers in what was now known as 32. But by 1969, at the age of 32, just 32, Brandon, John Madden assumed the mantle of head coach of the Oakland Raiders. And what a ride he, the Raiders, and the NFL were about to go on.
The AFC with a football here to begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now Brady. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get it, and sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They stay on the ground with Allen. And he will take this in for an AFC touchdown. Marcus Allen taking it in from 11 yards out. And the AFC is in for 6. Vinatieri connecting on the extra point. And that'll make the score 14-0. So the drive there took 6 plays. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The NFC offense coming out here. And you know, Charles, Coach Madden always said that if he had one drive to win a game and he had to pick a quarterback, he would pick Kenny Stabler. But I think if you asked him to omit any of his Raiders players, there's a good chance the guy he'd select would be Brett Favre.
Brett Favre is always smiling. He's always laughing. He's always talking to someone. He remembers that it's a game. And if it's a game, you should have fun.
And Brandon, that always reminds me of a great movie line where one of the players was telling the coach, every time I say it's a game, you say it's a business. And every time I say it's a business, you say it's a game. With Coach, it was always a game.
Charles, you talked about John Madden and the Raiders going on a ride. Well, try these numbers on for size. So 10 seasons as a head coach. The Raiders won their division 7 times. They finished second the other 3 times. And he became the youngest coach to amass 100 career regular season victories and is still, to this day, the franchise leader in wins.
And when you think about it, that's where that rivalry with Kansas City really took root. As did the expression commitment to excellence. And boy, was it personified by the players who played for Coach Madden. On offense, how about quarterback Kenny Stabler, wide receiver Cliff Branch, wide receiver Fred Biletnikoff, tight end Dave Casper, to name a few. How about this great lineman he had? Center Jim Otto, guard Gene Upshaw, tackle Art Shell, all of them in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And guys on the defensive side of the ball, the Mad Stork himself, Ted Hendricks, Willie Brown, John Matuzak, Otis Sistrunk, and Big Ben Davidson. So many great players, so many great memories.
2 minutes remain here, the first half of the John Madden Legacy game. We'll be back. First and 10, it's Favre. He gets this into the hands of Kupp once again. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Charles, you think about all the success that John Madden had as an NFL head coach, and he had plenty, and we talked about it, including the 10 straight winning seasons, a Super Bowl title. But like any great coach, he also suffered through a few tough losses along the way as well.
And Brandon, those tough losses came in high-stakes games because they always had such great success. Think about it this way. 6 times in his 10 years, the Raiders were knocked out near the AFL championship game or the AFC championship game. There might be a divisional round exit. That's the one that bothered him most of all. Three River Stadium, December 1972. Yes, the Immaculate Reception game. Franco Harris grabbing the ball that was deflected. Almost at his shoe tops, he picked it up and took it in for a game-winning score to give the Steelers a 13-7 victory. And partner, anyone who loves black and silver still doesn't believe that ball hit anyone in black and silver that day, and that play should never have counted.
Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. Now the NFC going to call the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Now Favre. Open man, it's Jason Witten. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
And for the 3rd time here this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the 8-time Pro Bowler, Steve Atwater.
When a team advances as far as they did, got over the 50-yard line, don't you think that drive deserved a better ending? I think he needs to get with his coaches on the sidelines, make some immediate adjustments, and that's what you do. You don't wait. You do it from series to series, because drives like that end with a turnover, that's multiple times they picked him off already in this opening half.
The AFC offense heading back out. You know, Charles, Coach really loved it. His tight ends in the passing game. You think about Dave Casper, Hall of Famer for those great Raider teams. And I think he saw a lot of Dave Casper in an all-Madden staple, Tony Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez is the type of tight end I think everyone's looking for. He's the guy that can make some big plays from that tight end position. Let me tell you, you better make sure you have him accounted for on every play.
And that's exactly right, because Dave Casper, he could shred defenses down the middle of the field. And that's exactly what Tony Gonzalez did in his entire career. A 14-time Pro Bowl selection. Only Tom Brady has more. There are 6 guys in the 15,000-yard receiving club. He's the only tight end in there. Tony Gonzalez.
Well, coming up in the second half, we'll run through John's post-coaching triumphs. But for now, we present a very special tribute to the man of the hour, narrated by Trey Mosley. The AFC going to get the football first here as we are back underway from Oakland in the John Madden Legacy game. And no run back here as the 3rd quarter will commence with a touchback. The AFC offense set to take their next drive. On play action, it's Brady. He's going to go for a big play downfield. So now, Charles, to pick up the story we've been telling, John Madden at 42, he just completed a 10-year stint as the coach of the Raiders. He wants to step away a bit from the grind of coaching, but he doesn't want to step away from the game of football. So he ends up signing on with CBS in 1979 to try his hand at broadcasting. And much like his coaching career, he was pretty much an instant success.
Partner, he really connected with the people right from the start, and people may not remember, he wasn't even on the #1 team in the beginning. He worked his way up. But the same things that made him a great coach made him a great broadcaster. The ability to show the big picture, yet break it down into the details. That's what he did with his teams. That's what he did with the people. That way, he was simple to understand, yet insightful for viewers. And he did with that big personality that he had, one that connected with everyone.
Here's Hester. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the NFC will take over 1st and 10. The NFC heading back out. Hall of Famer Randy Moss a part of this offense. And Coach Madden, boy, he always appreciated the ferociousness with which number 84 attacked the football in the air.
As Randy Moss says, Just chunk it up there, dog, and I'll go get it.
And, Coach, boy, did he ever go get it. Over 15,000 receiving yards, 156 touchdowns. And how about this? From his rookie year of 1998 until 2009, those were his prime seasons, right? He led the league in touchdowns 5 times, but even more so, he showed us all how to go up and get it. Great body control. No one's ever done it better playing the ball in the air.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Here's Favre to throw. And he rifles one incomplete. So for Coach Madden, Charles, by 1981, his broadcasting career is really taking off. He's elevated to the network's #1 booth that calls all the big matchups. And he gets the plum assignment of calling Super Bowl 16, 49ers and Bengals, and he's teamed up with Pat Summerall. And that pairing ultimately would go on to be one of the most influential in sports broadcasting history.
Influential not just in us listening to them. Remember, they went on and called 8 Super Bowls together. But how they put together kind of the template that all of us broadcasters follow now. Sitting down with the head coaches and the quarterbacks and the stars of each team before a ball game to get extra information. And the way that those two paired together, Pat Summerall, short, concise, to the point, and turned it over to Coach Madden to fill in all the big details.
As you mentioned, CD, talking about John Madden, the broadcaster, he called 8 Super Bowls with Pat Summerall, 3 more with Al Michaels later in his career. He spent nearly 3 decades in the booth all told. And not only was he beloved for his mannerisms, we know that, but he was an innovator as well.
Yeah, Brandon, you talk about things like the telestrator, which totally became identified with him, and now it's a staple for all analysts to have in the booth. And then you think about things like turducken on Thanksgiving, when he used words like boom and pow. He helped create the old Madden team. He was a very popular commercial pitch man. And even the Madden Cruiser was unique, and you had to be someone to get a ride on it, too.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. They dial up the corner blitz that time, and it delivers to the tune of a 9-yard loss. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. To throw is Favre. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Holding. Defense.
So the holding call on the offense, so they go ahead and decline that one and take possession of the football on the INT. On 1st and 10, here's Brady. Open man is Andre Reed, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the AFC with the lead and the football as we begin the 4th quarter. A run right side, it's Bettis. And he's got some space here. Touchdown! Jerome Bettis, 48 yards. And the AFC takes advantage of the interception, and they turn it into 6. Vinatieri able to tack on the PAT, and that makes the score 21-0. So 2 plays on that scoring drive. That's how they drew it up. And a long run into the end zone, and what a run it was. This taken in at the goal line. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. The 40. Past the 20. He will take this all the way. Touchdown NFC. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him, kick it to him. The way he runs, as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. The offense for the AFC set to go now. They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT. And he cannot get rid of it. The NFC getting in there for the sack.
Kevin Green, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards. Now a first carry for their fullback. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. This offense so far on third down, they've been okay. 2 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. To throw, it's Brady. Over the middle, he's got Tim Brown. So give him 2 yards there on the completion. And that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's Ray Guy now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The offense for the NFC ready to get their next drive started. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by the Hall of Famer Junior Seau. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Here's Allen. Now, CD, we did get a little ahead of ourselves talking about John Madden, the broadcaster in the 90s and 2000s, because there was another product during that time period that he became quite famous for, and it's something that you and I know a little bit about, and that's the video game that bears his name. Originally John Madden Football when it was first released back in the late 1980s, and now known the world over simply as Madden.
And Coach saw this originally as a way to teach the game of football. The early designs were for a 7-on-7 game, but he said no chance. He would not sign off on it. He wanted to be as realistic as possible. He told him, call me when it's 11 on 11. And he got his wish.
Yeah, after that debut, Madden the video game continued to pick up steam through the 90s in a big way. And John himself, many will remember, was a commentator for the series for many years. And now here we are in the 2020s, and this game has sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 million copies. Ready to begin their next drive here, the NFC offense. They have a little bit of time left here, but this one not going to go their way.
And this is where, in this situation for me, you just go ahead and run out the clock, shake hands.
He's got a man, complete. Now we'll get whistles, and they've signaled for a timeout. Not sure I see the logic in this, but we'll get a stoppage anyway with 5 seconds remaining. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete. So it's a win here for the AFC on an incredible afternoon of football and remembering the life of John Madden.
Time to decide how you're going to make your Madden NFL 23 debut. Head on over to the main menu and see the full array of options you've got to work with at Madden NFL 23.
There's people that wake up and go get it. We go get it, baby. Let's go. Photo, pour so photogenic. All I know is to go get it. Shoot my shot, now I ain't. So photogenic. All I know is to go get it. Shoot my shot, now I ain't gon'
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas and the very wonderful AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Denver Broncos and the Dallas Cowboys. Now the kicker, Brandon McManus, about ready to get us started. And we are underway from AT&T Stadium. Taken in at the 3. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. And but not before reaching the 45-yard line. A first down carry by Elliott. On the stop that time, it was Josie Jewell.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
Elliott going to get it again on second down. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
The Broncos going dime. 2 extra defensive backs for third down.
Playing pass all the way.
Prescott. They're trying for Washington, but the pass intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And the return across midfield into the 46-yard line. Not something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber, an opening drive interception.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised at how that one played out. But we know this guy is not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one and let him know he'll be back the very next series.
After the interception, here's Wilson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Big DeMarcus Lawrence getting in there and bringing him to the ground. If they have any thoughts of coming in here and getting this road victory, that's not the way to start it out on the first play of the game.
Yeah, one thing you always say when you go on the road, take the crowd out of the game. They actually brought the crowd into it by permitting that sack right out of the gate.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Here's Wilson. A pass for Sutton is intercepted. Picked off by Anthony Brown. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
Inside give to Elliott. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Quick throw, knocked away, and incomplete.
And that's a nice job there, because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And he will have a Cowboys first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive. Come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
On 2nd down, Elliott once more. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Looking to throw. Prescott. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Prescott to throw on 4th. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
We always talk about big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. I think that 4th down qualified. That was a heck of a throw.
And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
And he is going to lose yardage here. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Prescott to throw it. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. Here we go now on 1st and goal. Elliott will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know that sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front. Offensive line collected victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble and bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27. The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. They had the interception last time. It led to the opening touchdown. So now 7-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. That's complete. It's Greg Dulcich. Flexing his muscle again. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Throwing is Wilson. That's taken in by Dulcich. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Two minutes on the clock, 2nd quarter, 7-0 ball game. And on 3rd down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. Now it's Wilson. Same connection, Dulcich once again. And he will have a Broncos 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Wilson. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
If we go back to the last series, remember, their coverage allowed them to get a turnover in the last drive, a takeaway, and that helps contribute to a sack on this one. I think maybe this quarterback's a little bit hesitant. Last time he turned it over, now he sees his zone coverage a little bit slow to get rid of the football.
And all the way home for a Broncos score. K.J. Hamler, 46 yards. And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying the ball game here in the final minute of the 1st half.
After nearly 30 minutes of football, that touchdown puts us in a position where if they make the extra point, we're right back to even before we start the 2nd half.
And he missed it. No good. And they'll remain down by a point. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. From the 6. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And with a 1-point lead, you'd have to think they'll be looking just to get this to halftime. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Michael Gallup, that's who he was looking for. And it's 2nd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. Prescott now. He'll get this out wide here to Elliott. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. Throwing again on 2nd down. Prescott. That's caught. It's James Washington. Touchdown. James Washington. 53 yards. And the Cowboys will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point splits the uprights. And the lead is up to 8. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
2nd and 10 now. Wilson. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Malik Hooker. And the Cowboys are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
Prescott's throw complete into the hands of Schultz here. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Prescott looks to throw on first. To the sideline, and that is a heck of a catch as he was able to get both feet in. 4 seconds left, and there's the timeout. In field goal range and a chance to tack on 3 before intermission. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And his kick is indeed good, and that will do it for this first half. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Both teams making their final preparations for the second half of action. So with that, let's get you back out to Arlington, where we rejoin Brandon and Charles.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing.
Honestly, I see no biggie. Pay the heavy on pretty. You mad while I'm getting busy.